Hey, what's going on, guys? Mohamed from Yhung Kings here, and today I am so happy to tell you guys that I will be showcasing the very first deck profile for this channel, the time favorite deck, the deck that I used to use when I was young, when most of the support cards weren't even here, but it just has my favorite monster in it. Yes, guys, I am running the Dark Magician deck, and I will be showcasing it for you guys today. The deck is just absolutely broken. It is absolutely broken. It is unstoppable. It is guaranteed win. Like, one turn, just end this duel. Well, not one turn, but you know, it's just absolutely incredible. I can't wait to show this to you guys. I spent a lot of time, a lot of effort into building this deck, and so I just hope you guys like it. Let me just get right into this video because I'm just so excited right now. Let us go. So first and foremost, you're obviously going to play 3 copies of Dark Magician. Now, unless you're Yu-Gi-Moto or you're me back in 2nd grade where I used to spank everyone with just 1 Dark Magician.
Stop the cap! Stop the cap right now! Stop the cap!
So a lot of your combos and a lot of your plays, you know, revolve around this monster specifically. So you want to maximize seeing this monster, you know, out on the field or like in your hand or in the graveyard. Next, you also want to play like 1 Red Eyes Black Dragon, and that is like absolutely mandatory, especially with this deck. Now, you know, you're gonna obviously fuse this into the Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, but yeah, you know, it's also an iconic monster to, you know, just see again. And the other iconic monster we're also going to play is Dark Magician Girl, 1 Dark Magician. Obviously, she's a brick. She is absolutely like, probably, I was thinking about cutting her completely, but you know, just because of, you know, Soul's effect, I want to, you know, have her there, you know, just as an alternative option. And, you know, you don't want to draw this card out ever, but, you know, she's still good. I mean, you can't run Dark Magician without Dark Magician Girl, so, you know. Alright, next, you want to play 3 Magician Rod, and you know, this is obviously one of the most important cards in this deck because this searches out literally any spell card or trap card that, you know, specifically lists Dark Magician, and it's easily recyclable, you know, during your opponent's turn. If ever you activate spell or trap, you know, you tribute 1 spellcaster type monster, and you know, you add this back to your hand, so it's easily recyclable. And yeah, you just want to maximize seeing this card. If you see this card first turn, like that, like just really helps with all your combos. Next, you want to play, you know, probably the best card in the entire deck. You want to play 3 Magician Souls. Now, this one is like super pricey, very pricey card. Probably going for like 80-90 bucks right now because, you know, it's such a good card. And dude, if you see Magician's Rod and Magician's Souls like first turn, you basically won the whole entire duel. Like, it's basically, you know, hey, hold out your hand for your opponent and just say GG, easy, no re, and that's about it. Because, you know, its effect is so good, you know, like you just dump like 1, you know, level 6 or 7 spellcaster to the graveyard, or my bad, level 7 or lower spellcaster to the graveyard, you know, special summon the card, or you special summon a Dark Magician in your deck or graveyard, or Dark Magician Girl in, you know, from your graveyard. And obviously you're not going to use its second effect, you know, as often. You know, it comes up, but you're not going to, you know, trigger its effect that often. You will mainly want to go for the special summon and, you know, link it off, and that's about it. But I'll show you guys the combo later. Next, you want to play probably, in my opinion, the most underrated card in this entire deck, Apprentice Illusion Magician. Now, people, you know, cut this card out completely, literally because they're absolute idiots. Like, why would you cut this card out? This is probably, you know, the most versatile card in this entire deck. And why is that? Because it is easy to special summon. You just discard 1 card to special summon, free link material right there. And then it searches out Dark Magician once you summon it, which is incredible. And then it also works as a hand trap because, you know, when a dark spellcaster type monster, you know, battles with an opponent's monster, you know, you discard this card, gains 2000 attack and defense until, you know, the end of, like, it literally becomes honest. Like, it's, you know, basically honest for this deck. So the fact that people cut this out, you know, blows my mind. It's absolutely ridiculous. Next, you know, you're gonna play 2 of Magician of Dark Illusion, and you know, I only play this card because, you know, it's an extra, it's like you're basically playing 5 Dark Magicians in this deck, and you know, you combo off into rank 7 plays, and you know, it basically becomes Dark Magician when, you know, it comes on the field. It's, you know, pretty easy to special summon, like if you activate an effect on your opponent's turn, but mainly you don't want to see this card like first turn or second. Like, you don't want to see this card. You mainly want to have it in your deck, and this is, you know, what you summon off of Magician's Navigation. So I run it at 2. You know, if you have an alternative like for this card, you don't have to play this card, but I like to play it because, you know, it's really good in my opinion. It's kind of underrated. And you also special summon a Dark Magician from the graveyard whenever you activate a spell or trap, like, or effect. So, and that's on any player's turn after you summon it. So, you know, it's kind of underrated, this card, but it's good to see just, you know, just play 2 of, and, you know, hopefully you don't want to draw this out necessarily. Next, you're going to play the card that, you know, is one of the ways to summon out Dragoon. You're going to play 3 Keeper of Dragon Magic. And this card, you know, it's really good for this deck because this summons out Dragoon, or it can summon out, you know, Dark Magician Dragon Knight, which protects your back row, and it's absolutely incredible. But yeah, you basically, when this card is normal summon or special summon, you can discard 1 card and add up, you know, 1 polymerization or fusion type or fusion spell to your hand. And also, you can reveal 1 monster in your fusion monster in your extra deck and special summon 1 of its fusion material from the graveyard. So that, you know, really helps out. And, you know, it's just, it's a really good card. Like, come on. Next, you probably want to run, definitely, you know, this is the most generic hand trap, but it's also a very versatile hand trap. You want to run 3 Ash Blossom. You know, it's very important in today's meta game where, you know, everyone's running hand traps, everyone's searching, and, you know, this basically blocks off, you know, you discard this card and you know, prevent your opponent from searching. Now, this one you can run, like, you know, if you don't have Ash Blossom, you can run like 3 just like any hand trap you want, or like any other like monster you feel like is necessary. Like, this is more of like a, you know, a wild card, this one definitely, but you know, I just played 3 because, you know, it's probably the most relevant hand trap right now in the game, and it just blocks your opponent from searching, you know, and it's very important. This card is, like, you know, absolutely important. So yeah. So yeah, that's about it from next. We'll get into the spells. You want to play probably one of the most important spells in the game is 3 Dark Magical Circles, and, you know, you run this card because it's very good. You activate the top 3 cards in your deck, you know, you reveal 1 Dark Magician or 1 Dark Magician spell or trap, and then, you know, you add that to your hand and return the rest in, like, any order you want. And then every time, once per turn, like, when you summon, like, a Dark Magician at all, like, you target 1 card your opponent controls, banish it. Like, I don't even think it's a targeting effect, but, you know, I gotta look at that again. But, you know, this card is, like, so good because, you know, you can literally revive Dark Magician so many times, like combo into him, and then every time Dark Magician on the field, banish a monster, like, or set card or whatnot, and, you know, it's just really, really good. So yeah, definitely run through this card. Next, you want to run 3 Soul Servants. Now, this card is just absolutely incredible. This is like your draw power of the deck, and it's easily searchable and whatnot, but definitely you add 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your deck that, you know, specifically lists Dark Magician within it or is Dark Magician, and, you know, you banish this card from your graveyard and you draw cards, you know, up to the amount of Dark Magician or Dark Magician Girl, Palladium or whatnot in your field or in the graveyard, which, you know, is basically a pot of greed at that point. So yeah, definitely. Next, I run the 1 Secrets of Dark Magic, you know, because I want to get in, you know, it's a fusion card specifically for the Dark Magician, and, you know, there are times where you want to get into the Dark Magicians. But yeah, it's just a really good fusion card. And next, you want to get into probably the most important fusion card, and that's Red Eyes Fusion, because this is how you're going to summon out Dragoon first turn. And, Yeah, it's very important because you know you fusion summon from the deck, so it's really good and it's really 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 important. That's why you run Red Eyes in this deck, and you run you also run one polymerization because it's uh it's searchable by Keeper of Dragon Magic, and it's an extra fusion card that you're not gonna really draw into, but you kind of need it out. And then this card actually added, it's really good. It's Magical Ice Fusion, and this is how you can get into like, any one of your. It's literally Miracle Fusion. You can get into literally any one of your spellcaster or spellcaster type fusion monsters, and when you desperately need it, it's gonna be there. So yeah, you definitely want to get into this one. You can summon out another Dragoon or the other monster, which I'm gonna show you guys later, Quintet Magician, which. Yeah, definitely you're gonna definitely look into that late game. Next, we're gonna get into the traps. So the traps, I run 2 Eternal Souls. Now, the great thing about Eternal Soul is that every Dark Magician in your monster zone is unaffected by card effects, which is absolutely incredible. But I think the only downside is that if this card gets destroyed, you destroy all monsters you control, which is unfortunate. However, the cool thing is Red Eyes Dark Dragoon is unaffected by Eternal Soul because it can't be destroyed by card effects, which is absolutely incredible. So yeah, so you don't have to worry so much anymore about Eternal Soul's effect, and you get to special summon 1 Dark Magician from your hand or graveyard, so it's a very versatile card once per turn. So yeah, definitely you want to run that. And I also run 2 of Magician's Navigation. I was thinking about cutting this card down to 1, but unfortunately, because I don't have infinite impermanence, I don't have certain cards that I need. I just felt like running this card at 2 because why not? I'm running 2 of the Magician of Dark Illusion, so I might need this card. And if I have an extra one, I can easily discard it one way or another, and use its effect because. To banish the card and negate the effect of a face-up spell or trap card that my opponent controls. So it's pretty important. And also for the last Dark Magician spell or trap card, my bad. I'm running 1 Destin's Rival, which you all know this is literally skill drain for free, like a 1-turn skill, drain. It's really really good because if as long as I control a Dark Magician, like I negate the effects of all face-up monsters my opponent controls until the end phase, and it's just really good. It's like it's absolutely amazing for a Dark Magician. So yeah. Next, you're also gonna run 2 Gozen Match, which this card is actually very very important. And especially with decks that, heroes, Adamant Spirit, or whatnot, that run many different attributes. So what this card does is that, that both players can only control 1 attribute of monsters, and that any other monsters with different attributes go to the graveyard. So yeah, you can only control, which cripples a lot of decks, and it's actually really really good. So yeah, there's that. And for the final trap, this one's this one's more of a wild card. I needed to make this 40 cards, so I just added 1 singular Storming Mirror Force. This doesn't have to be Storming Mirror Force. You can literally put any other trap in this deck and it'll work just fine. Unless you're running something, absolutely stupid like Final Turn or something. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, this one is just. I just said, this is the best Mirror Force, in the entire Yu-Gi-Oh! So yeah, I just said, yeah, run this card. Now, onto the extra deck. We're running the literal king himself, Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, 2 of them, and oh man, this card is just absolutely ridiculous. It's absolutely good, probably the best card in all of Yu-Gi-Oh! And yeah, so you need Dark Magician or Red Eyes Black Dragon or 1 Dragon effect monster, which we got plenty of in this deck. So it can't be can't be destroyed by card effects, neither player can target it, and once per turn you can destroy one monster your opponent controls and inflict damage equal to that monster's attack, and you can do this as many times as the amount of fusion monster material that were normal monsters. So just by using Dark Magician and Red Eyes Black Dragon, there you have two monsters that you can destroy for absolutely free. Doesn't target, so it's absolutely perfect. So, and you inflict damage. So, you know, it's literally two free monsters you get to destroy. This is like an OTK card. And once per turn, when your opponent activates a card effect, any single card effect, you discard one card and negate that and destroy it, and this card gains 1,000 attack, which it doesn't say until the end of the turn or until whatnot. So I think this is a permanent. I have to look it up again, but I think this is a permanent attack gain. So this is actually really good. Next, you run the one Dark Magicians. It's actually really good because it has a good draw power to it, and anytime your opponent activates any effect, you draw the card, and once it gets destroyed, also like you can summon a Dark Magician or a Dark Magician girl, or oh no, you can actually summon both one Dark Magician and one Dark Magician girl from your graveyard, and that can trigger off Dark Magical Circle. Next, you want to run the one Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight, which is actually super important because this protects your back row. This protects Eternal Soul from getting destroyed at all, and it's just really easy to get to, especially with Keeper of Dragon Magic. And last but not least, you can sub out this card for anything. I don't honestly care, but one Quintet Magician, which I almost never go into, but it's a good magicalized fusion target, and it's a free board wipe, and it's unaffected by like card effect, just about any card effect. So it's pretty good. So until I get an alternative, I'm probably gonna just keep running it. But yeah, it's decent. It's not bad. Next, I run the one. For the XCs, I run one Ebon High and one Red Eyes Flare Metal Dragon. So this, unfortunately, man, I wanted Ebon Illusion Magician, but I ended up with Ebon High, and I can't really get Ebon Illusion right now. But this one's it's a decent alternative. Like it allows you to hand trap your opponent. If this card gets destroyed, you special summon one spellcaster from your deck, and you just destroy one monster on your opponent's field. So it's decent. And Red Eyes Flare Metal, this one is really good because every time your opponent breathes or does anything, you inflict 500 damage, and you can just burn your opponent out. So yeah, it's just really good. So that's it for the XC's monsters. Next, we're going into the links, which we actually run a ton of. So this is probably the most important one: Predaplant Verte Anaconda. And the reason you run this is because this is how you get into Jakku. It's absolutely important, and yeah, this is probably the best link in the entire deck here. And yeah, I don't need to explain further. I play one Mech Knight Crusadia Abermax, which it's a standard link that I play that I just use it to kill off my opponent and whatnot. I won one IP Masquerena because it's a pretty good, it's a really good link, and it's just really good for this deck. And I won one Nightmare Unicorn and one Nightmare Phoenix and one Nightmare Cerberus. This is to pop spell and trap, this is to pop monsters, and this is to pop more monsters and also draw. So this is the Nightmare package is actually really good with like just about any deck. And next, I play the one Link Spider, which it works pretty well with this deck, and the one Selene, which actually it's pretty broken in this deck because you can actually this with Dark Magician, you combo it off, and you get to trigger Dark Magical Circle's effect, and yeah, it's just absolutely incredible what this does. And anyways, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and everything. And let me know in the comments below what you think about this deck, and if there's anything you would change or suggest, or like anything you've noticed. And also, just remember to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to get us to 50 subscribers. We're almost there. So yeah, stay safe, everyone.